this is my very first PC build. This is by no means a tutorial, but just a little journal of the things I did to build this gaming PC. And without further ado, let's go into the parts. So these are the PC parts that I'm going to be using today. First up, we've got this AMD Ryzen 7 2100X processor. It's got 8 cores and runs at a base rate of 3.7 GHz. Originally, I was actually considering a Intel i5 generation 9600K processor, but I think this one is a little bit more suitable to my needs because of the 8 cores, meaning that if I want to do streaming down the line, I can do multitasking a little bit better with this. And I also think that this fancy cooler is a very good deal, so I decided to go with an AMD Ryzen processor. To go with the processor, I'm also going to be using the MSI motherboard. This is the X470 Gaming Plus, and it's going to be compatible with my Ryzen processor. I've also got some RAM here. This is a Corsair one. It's got 16 GB, runs at 3200 MHz. And I think that the higher the megahertz, the better that the Ryzen processor will perform. So that's why I chose quite a decent RAM here. And I've also got this NZXT gaming case. This is a mid-tower case, and I actually got this from eBay for around £23. And I really like the kind of metal effect and also this glass panel here at the front. But unfortunately, it didn't come with any fans or screws, which is why I chose to go with some Arctic fans here. This is just some standard fans. It was an add-on item on Amazon. I got it for £2.50. So I got 2 of these. I've also got this graphics card here. This is the GeForce RTX 2060 by ZOTAC Gaming. Apparently it's going to be a real beast, and I'm very excited to try different games using this graphics card. For storage, I've got a hard drive here. This is just a 1TB one from Seagate, got used from eBay as well. Also got an SSD card where my window will be running. This is 128 GB one from ADATA. Finally, I've got a power supply one. This runs at 600 watts. It's an EVGA one at bronze rating. So according to Christopher Yee, anything that's bronze rating or above is sufficient for any kind of new PC. So hopefully this will be perfect. So yeah, these are all the PC parts that I'm going to be using. And now I'm going to begin assembling it all together. Let's go. First up, I'm going to be opening up the motherboard. Going to insert my processor. I'm going to open this up. Ooh, look at this. So this is the cooler that I'm talking about. The motherboard a little bit this way. So here I've got my RAM, and I'm going to open up the second and fourth slots here and put it in. So as you can see, you've got a little kind of gap here on the RAM, and so I'm going to make sure that it aligns with the gap on the little outlet here. I'm going to put the other one like so. So now our RAM is installed. Next up, I'm going to be mounting the IO shield into my PC case. going to make sure that all the silver edges are poking out of the case. Making sure not to bend anything in the process. I think it's best to try not to push from the middle. Just trying to poke it from the sides like so. Okay, we've got one last corner and we're done. There we go. Now I'm going to be putting in my PC fans. Air blows in through this direction, so I'm going to place one that's going to be blowing air out from the sides and in from the top. So now I'm going to be installing our cooler that came with our processor. It's got pre-applied thermal paste at the bottom, so you don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to be putting it right on top of our processor. So to install this particular type of cooler, you do have to put the metal lever over the retention hook here and then secure it by pulling this black lever down like so. So now that we've installed our cooler, I'm going to be putting our motherboard inside the PC case. Before putting the motherboard in, I've made sure that I've put 9 standoffs onto my PC case. So I'm going to be gently placing the motherboard onto my PC case and trying to locate the holes over the standoffs. So I can see that the USB ports have aligned with the I/O shield, and now I'm going to be putting in the screws into the motherboard holes. Next up, I'm going to be putting the fan cables into the fan pins over here, labeled System Fan 3 and System Fan 4. Even though these are 3 pins, they can actually still go into 4-pin headers. Now I'm going to be installing my graphics card. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, fancy, fancy. Alrighty, so I've removed the second and third panels from the gaming case, and now I'm going to put in our graphics card. So here we have something similar to our RAM insert slot, and I'm going to place it on this slot over here. Hopefully they don't clash. Oh, okay, so our graphics card just about fit in without having to clash with this panel. So thank God for that. So now we're going to be installing our power supply, and first I'm going to remove all these thumb screws from this side panel here. I'm just going to be putting it through like so. Oops. Make sure it's in a good position and the fan is facing down, and then I'm going to screw it back in. Now I'm going to be dealing with the cables at the back. The first cables I'm going to be dealing with are the ones attached with the power supply, and I'm going to be dealing with the CPU one. I'm going to put it right through the back here, through a hole up here, and all the way through to the motherboard, and plugging it in the 4-hole plug here labeled CPU power. The second cable we're going to be dealing with is the 24-pin cable that looks like this, and I'm going to be wriggling it around from the back of my computer case to this plug over here. The third set of cables we'll be dealing with are these PCIe ones, and these are going to go inside our graphics card onto this socket. So now moving on to the case cables, I first got a USB 3.0 cable, and it's going to go in this plug here labeled USB 3. The second set of case cables we'll be dealing with are these panel pins over here, and these are in charge of supplying power to our panel button. So I'm going to be looping it through the case, and I'm going to be putting it into this plug over here labeled JFP1. So this is a diagram which shows you where these tiny cables go, and just so you are aware, some cases actually don't come with a reset switch like my one, so don't worry if it doesn't come with yours either. For our final set of case cables, we've got this one labeled HD Audio, and this one is going to go on the bottom left hand side of our motherboard in the place where it says audio. I'm going to be dealing with our storage, starting off with our SSD. We are going to connect it with one of our data cables that came out of our power supply, and also with one of our SATA cables that came with our motherboard. After that, we're going to connect the SATA cable to this SATA plug over here at the side of the motherboard, and you can plug it into any one of these. So I actually decided to turn around our SSD card so that the plugs face inside the cable. Otherwise, if I were to leave it like this, the SATA and the data cable are going to stick out, and so when I try to shut the case, it's going to be blocked. So going to be sliding in our hard drive at the back of the case like so. We're going to do the same thing with our hard drive, so we're going to attach one of our data cables from the power supply to the hard drive, and then we're going to use our SATA cable over here and attach one end of it to the hard drive, and then the other end to our SATA port on the motherboard here. So having put the plug inside and plugging it into a socket, I also turned on the power button, and now it's ready to go, hopefully. Woo! So I guess this did turn out to be some kind of tutorial, but I'm very happy with the results. After building the PC, I downloaded the drivers through the MSI website and also downloaded Windows 10 through a USB, and now it's up and running, and I can't wait to smash into Fortnite Season 9. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like. See you next time. Bye!